Good afternoon, lovely friends. It's Jayashrii with the Finding Freedom podcast. It's wonderful to be with you today. This week, a listener asks, can you please talk about how to deal with giving advice? I know someone who could highly benefit from practices that I'm aware of, and I know they work, and I've given them the information, but they're not interested in what I've provided. And it's difficult not to press the issue and allow them to make the decision that they would like without my further encouragement or advice. Can you talk about how to be in this place? Absolutely. Thank you for this great question. I think we all find ourselves in this position probably more often than we realize, where we feel that we know better for someone than they may know for themselves. And my teacher advised me on this type of question once, and she said, don't get involved. You're only creating karma. Who knows why each person encounters what they do on their path? If we look back on our own lives, some of our greatest struggles have been the greatest gifts. And if someone had taken them away, we wouldn't have grown into the beautiful beings we are today. And so yes, you've done the perfect thing, dear listener, by providing some information and letting it go, and allowing the person that you love to decide for themselves if they think this is worthwhile to incorporate into their lives. So I would say you are following your innate wisdom, and you can tell by the way that you framed this question that you are following your inner guru already with the way that you framed the question. But yes, just to extrapolate a bit more on this topic, basically there is no self and other. We are all one. There is no separate self, and the idea that there is a separate self is the cause of all suffering. And so the good news is that when we seek self-realization, and when we realize the self, we do this for the entire world, because the world is in the mind. We are not in the world. The world is in the mind. So our greatest gift that we can give to the world is our own self-realization. So we don't preach the Buddha, we are the Buddha. And we don't hold different standards for other people than we do for ourselves. In other words, there is no self and other. That which we see in others is a reflection of ourselves. No matter what it is that we see, no matter how terrible or how great, we must own it and be really honest with ourselves. And this is also great news, because in this way, we let go of a lot of unnecessary suffering. Somebody should have done this differently to me, or etc. That all falls away, because we know we're capable of the very same thing, maybe in a slightly different nuance, but the very same thing. And in this way, we also look back on our lives and see how many mistakes we think we've made. There are no mistakes in actuality, but we can be humbled by knowing the challenge that life brings, and that every single person is up against the same siege of conditioning. And we know how difficult things can be. And therefore we have really to lower our expectations for everyone else from the world. Here's the thing. Every great spiritual teacher out there, every great religion, philosophy, teaches the same thing. That the world cannot fulfill us. Nobody can fulfill us. No thing outside can fulfill us. The only thing that can fulfill us is knowing our true nature, which is emptiness, not a separate self. It's not our labels and our titles and our accomplishments and our possessions, etc., etc. It's emptiness, which is simultaneously full. Nothing and everything. When we let go of our mask, our persona, our personalities, what is there is the magical, unknowable mystery that pervades everything. Because we are that unknowable mystery, that magic is who we are. It's humble, it's pure love. It is pure love with no characteristics, no title, no hierarchy. It's not better or worse than anyone else. It's everyone, in fact, and everything. And this is flow. And so we can drop giving advice. Always a bad idea. Think about it when you're having a difficult time and you speak with someone, you want them to be present for you. You don't want them to come to you with an agenda of how to fix you because you're broken. No, you're not broken. Nobody's broken. Nobody's broken, and nobody needs to be fixed. In presence, the presence is who we are, and it's the greatest gift to the world and to anyone we love, because what that is a celebration of our oneness, a dropping of all the agendas and titles and masks and labels, to be totally an empty vessel through which the magical, unknowable mystery flows. And that's what we have in common. That's what we share. That's what love is. That's what God is. And that is our greatest gift. So I hope this is helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you have a topic that you would like to have discussed in a future Finding Freedom podcast. I send you love, light, and presence. If you liked this, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and leave a comment below. It's always helpful to know how others are addressing the same types of issues, and we can all learn from one another in this beautiful celebration of life. Namaskar.